Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Today, we're taking a look at the Toys Battalion, Pink Pterosaur, and Yellow Sabretooth, aka the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie, Pink and Yellow Rangers. We looked at the boys in their own separate video. Finally, we're completing the team with the girls. Now, I got mine at a discount from KG Hobby. I've popped a link to their site in the description for your reference purposes only. This is by no means a promotional video. This is a review. While you're down in the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as brand new Power Rangers content goes live on the channel. If you'd have told me when I was a kid and I'd just seen this movie for the first time coming out of the cinema, that one day I'd have shrunk down miniaturized versions of those Ranger suits as part of my collection, I wouldn't have believed you. Because it seemed impossible. For the longest time, these suits were my holy grail. I thought that maybe 3-0 would give us them, but there was this weird licensing thing, and there still is. Fox owns part of the movie rights, and then Hasbro, and I don't know, Saban is in there. Either way, it took a third-party company to give us these suits, and a complete team at that. 1995 to 2024. That's how long this took. As for the box art, we've got these silhouetted glossy style images of the Rangers front and center, then their third-party names up top. On the sides of the boxes, lightning, of course. It would have been cool if the lightning was color-coded for each Ranger, so Pink would have had pink lightning, for example. They decided not to do that. They kept the box art consistent for all of their movie Ranger figures. There's also their third-party names, once more. Around the back, their morphers are in the background, but the artwork is super dark. It's very hard to see what's going on. Their bespoke power coins are in the middle. We've got Pterodactyl and Sabretooth Tiger. I like how they've used the power coins as a frame of sorts for the warnings and legal information. It's a neat way of making something boring a little bit more visually interesting. Pinch me. I can't believe this is happening. But here we are. First in-hand impressions for Kimberly. So far, so good. I've always loved the movie Pink Ranger helmets. Something about the weird proportions has always worked for me. As for Aisha, I've got things to say about the shade of yellow they went with. We'll discuss that in a little bit more detail later on. What we're going to do now is get all of their accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything they come with. Before we get stuck in with the girls' accessories, depending on where you ordered your movie White Ranger from, or when, because some slipped out of the factory with Sabers in the box, you were told via a slip of paper that you were going to get an upgraded, improved version of this weapon. I have that improved version now. KG Hobby included this in the package with pink and yellow, and yeah, visually speaking, it's identical. It's still blunt at the bottom, it's gold where it's not supposed to be, the sculpt is the same. The only real difference is this is now made of PVC. It's a lot more durable. The bottom part of the blade is separate to this main crossguard section, and the handle is separate as well. We've got two little seams there, so if you bend this too much, it's not going to snap. Well, it might if you bend it too hard, but it's going to flex before it snaps in half. This one, it came broken right out of the box. There's a crack straight through the blade. So, while I still don't love the look of this, at least it's now more durable. With that out of the way, now we can look at their bases. They're the same mold. They both don't have nameplates up top. This one is particularly rattly for some reason. We've got morphers on the top plate, done in this grippy textured finish, with their power coins highlighted. They're a little bit brighter than the rest of the artwork in the middle. The crotch grabbers are height adjustable, you can move them up and down, and there's these little rubber tips on the front, so even if these are gently touching the front of the movie ranger's outfits, they shouldn't cause any scratching or damage. Just make sure they're not pushing up against the front too much, otherwise they will dig into the outfit. It's more there to protect against scratching versus indentations, if that makes sense. So we get their holsters, made of this vinely sort of material, not pleather. I've heard some people say that these are going to flake. I really don't think they will. The power blasters are removable. They were blade blasters in the show, but in the movie I think they're called power blasters. There's some black paint missing on this raised section. I still have to fix that on my other ranges, and I will. They never actually use these in the movie, but in 1/6 scale, you could absolutely pose them with these. Then lastly, a full array of hands for each ranger, the same exact set of gestures for both of them. Open palm hands, they're done in this pearlescent finish, there's leather grain texture sculpted in, and there's a brown wash in the wrinkling or the ribbing detail on the back of them. Then we've got 2 style pose hands with the fingers curled in, 2 gripping hands with very soft, flexible fingers, prying these open to get them to hold onto the power blasters, no problem. Pink Ranger really should have come with her pterodactyl thunder whip, and Yellow Ranger should have come with her LED helmet with the lights up on top. Can't do anything about the Yellow Ranger. But for Pink, the upcoming Ninjetti Pink Ranger does come with the thunder whip. So these hands are going to be perfect for getting this figure to hold onto that whip. Oh, and right out of the box, they both come wearing 2 closed fists. What we're going to do now is get both Pink and Yellow Rangers themselves out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. I think we all sort of collectively know what to expect by now from these Toys Battalion movie Ranger releases. Because these aren't the first, they're the last. I highly doubt you're starting with them. You probably already have red and blue and black and white in your collection. So how do these stack up? Really well, it turns out. They're made in a very similar way to those other Rangers. Great proportions, somewhat decent-ish articulation, a killer-looking outfit, and accurate helmet sculpts. For the most part. You see, I'm no movie Power Ranger helmet sculpt expert. If you are, and you can point out the inaccuracies if they're really obvious and glaring to you, let me know down in the comments. Now, with them rotating around in front of me, I do have a preference for one of them. I didn't expect that to be the case. I thought I'd like them both equally, but no, Pink Ranger is my favorite of the two. It might come down to the color, the helmet sculpt, the fact that I just really like Kimberly as a Ranger in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Who knows? But something about that pink figure on the left is catching my eye. Up close and personal, kicking things off with Kimberly's helmet. I don't want to downplay just how ugly this helmet is. It truly is a Power Rangers monstrosity. It's very wide up top, super narrow for the bottom. We've got the point on the chin. These curls for her cheeks don't make any sense to me. And the visor is massive. Then these bits stick out over the top, making it look like she's got huge eyebrows. As a kid, I hated this. But as an adult, it's grown on me to the point where now I don't know why, but I love it. It's probably nostalgia. It's one of my all-time favorite Pink Ranger helmet designs. If you'd asked me when I was younger, no, absolutely not. But nowadays, yeah, I rank this maybe even higher than the TV show version. Cancel my Power Rangers nerd card if you want to, but I'm not apologizing for it. I love this helmet. It sat very low on the neck, though, right out of the box. What I did to fix that was I removed the helmet from the internal neck connector, and that made it height adjustable. Now I can move it up and down. I can still push it to the bottom and give her no neck if I wanted to, because that is actually movie accurate. She looked like this in the film. But I don't want to. I'm going to raise it just a bit so I can see more of that white fabric around her neck. Like some of the boys, she does have the vent on the back of the helmet. Oh, and the entire thing is done in a really nice, shiny, high gloss finish. The construction of the suit is exactly the same as all of the other Rangers. We've got this rubbery, waxy vinyl material for the undersuit. Then the armor plating is made of PVC plastic. It's slightly flexible. There's a high gloss finish to everything and a pearlescent sheen for the white bits, the gloves and the boots. But the power coins, they've got the wash in the crevices, just like what we saw with red, blue and black. I still need to repaint the power coin up front on the White Ranger's shield because not having a wash to it, it looks out of place alongside the rest of the team. Some folks complained about this around the back, the diaper section. I see it. It's there. There's nothing you can do about it. I tried to futz with this tunic overlay piece because it's attached underneath her crotch. You can't. It's just something you're going to have to live with, or you can pass on Kimberly because of it. The diamonds are very sharply printed on this back armor, and it's adjustable. If you want to move it up ever so slightly to get it out of the way of the shoulder pads for articulation, totally doable. The shoulder pads are glued onto the outfit. One of them was detached out of the box on my yellow Ranger. To fix it, just pop some super glue on the inside if this happens to you, hold it in place for a second, and the glue should be able to grip onto this rubberized material. I wish the armbands were more free-floating because I want to move them up a bit. They're right over the elbow joint, and that means that they are going to restrict range of motion. If only I could bring them up just a touch, then they would clear the elbow joint and I could move that without having to crunch these ribbed stitch sections. Her belt is removable, and you will need to remove it, because don't forget, out of the box, the holster is not attached to it. Velcro around the back, undo it, slide the holster on, then you can reinstall the Velcro. The power coin up front, that does look like a pterodactyl. It's the same sculpt, I believe, as what's up top, just shrunk down to a teeny tiny size. My favorite detail on the Morpher, though, is, see that gap right there on the bracket? That's where the button sections on the actual screen-used Morpher would slide into. That's some attention to detail I wasn't expecting from these. They've once again forgotten to paint the bloody line work in these sculpted chevron sections on the outside of the gauntlets. I'll try and fix it myself. That's a very small channel to run a paintbrush through, and I don't have the steadiest hand in the world. We'll see how that goes. The top part of the gauntlet is raised, there's a lip on the end, sculpted stitching for the diamonds, and there's what would be the Velcro closure sculpted on the inside of the gauntlets. Coming down to her legs, this is a separate piece of fabric for the pants underneath the upper torso vest / one-piece tunic. I'm so happy that they did away with the white elastic strap underneath the crotch, because that was an absolute eyesore with the prototype. They made some improvements. There's one big glaring downgrade from prototype to final production that comes into play with Ayesha, not Kimberly. I think you already know what that is. The pants are very tight on the body. You can see some musculature poking through right there. Then the armor plates are fused onto the front of the outfit. With the lads, their thigh armor pieces, they were actually clamped around their thighs and you could move them around. I prefer this design. It looks more integrated. Her knee pads are actually not knee pads at all. They're on these stitched ribbed bands, and you can adjust them. I would like to have them sitting up slightly higher, so after this video is done, I'll take off the boots, and then I'll move them up, because sitting as low as they do, they're not in the right place to be knee pads. The boots alone are chock full of detail. The leather grain texture, the wrinkling, the stitching on the inside, stitching for the diamonds. Then we've got the shoe pieces. They sit inside of these boot guards. Believe it or not, this is an accurate design for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie boots, these flaps on the inside and outside of the shoes. On the underside, we've got some fully sculpted tread. It's Aisha's turn. Let's talk about the glaring issue I just alluded to. Is it the construction of the outfit? No. Is it the sculpt work for the helmet being inaccurate? Actually, that might be a thing, but I can't see it. It looks accurate to me. It's the color. Why did they change the yellow? For the prototype, it was this warm orangey yellow. Now for the final production version, it's a really cool highlighter yellow almost. It doesn't ruin this figure for me. But why did they pull the bait and switch? I wish they hadn't, because the prototype color I much prefer over what they ended up giving us. This is still accurate to certain scenes in the movie. The Yellow Ranger outfit looks like it's this color. But most of the time, it doesn't. In normal lighting, not under fluorescence, it's a lot warmer than this. Moving on from that, now we can discuss the helmet. It sits low on the neck. I don't mind that for the Yellow Ranger because the armor can be brought down much lower than Kim's, and you can expose that neck without having to adjust the height of the helmet. The mouth area is very wide, the eyes are quite big, the visor is huge, the entire thing is done with a gloss finish. It looks accurate to me. I'm no movie Yellow Ranger expert, the triangular vent is interesting, but I still wish we'd have gotten a swap-out helmet with an LED light-up function for her little lights that pop up magically in the movie on top of her helmet. The way the outfit is put together is identical to Kim. We've got the PVC sculpted plastic armor bits, the ribbed elbow guards that get in the way of articulation. I still want to find a way to move these. The power coin up front with a wash in it, and the power coin in the morpher. I'm not sure what happened with this one. I think it's the gloss finish that smoothed out the detail work because it doesn't look as sharp as some of the other power coins for the rest of the Rangers. The diaper thing is still present with Aisha, exactly the same outfit design as Kim like I already said. This rubberized vinyl material, once again, not pleather. I don't think it's going to flake. It feels relatively durable. It's a lint magnet. Packaging these figures in black, cheap foam was a terrible idea because the little black fuzzles from that foam stick to the outfit. There's one right there. You can remove it very easily. It's just a lot of work right out of the box to have to grab yourself a lint roller, maybe the washable one from my figure first aid kit, run it over the front of the outfit, then do the back, the sides, everywhere really, to get rid of those little fuzzles on the surface. Not the end of the world, just some light housekeeping that you're going to have to do. No line work on the gauntlets as to be expected. Coming down to the legs, the pants are very tight. Then we've got the adjustable knee pads. I've moved them up. This is the height that I want them to be at for Kimberly as well. I'm going to have to do that later. The boots, split cut boot design. The yellow matches. In fact, the yellow matches everywhere. There's not a color mismatch between the armor and the fabric undersuit, which was a problem with Red Ranger. They seem to have fixed that, and now, like I said, the color match is bang on. They were so close. They had one job. Get the suits to look as movie accurate as possible. How did they get the color so right for Kim? This beautiful bubblegum pink. And then stuff it up, fumble the bag for Aisha with this lemony colored yellow. I wouldn't be surprised because of the backlash if one day in the future they end up giving us a 2.0 Yellow Ranger using all of the same patterns and sculpts with an additional helmet in the correct color warmer than what they ended up giving us with this. I believe they're using the same base body for both of these, but Yellow Ranger looks slimmer and slightly taller. I reckon that's because they've used less padding, she's got longer ankle extenders, or a longer neck connector. Normally I'm fine with the height difference between my Rangers, but it has to be accurate. You see, Amy Jo Johnson is 5'2", and Karen Ashley, who plays Aisha, is 5'1". So this isn't quite right. Pink should be taller than yellow. I did not realize that the 3-0 Power Rangers were giants. That's like a 6-foot tall Pink Ranger right there. She towers over the movie suit Toys Battalion 1. The figure on the left looks more height accurate to Amy Jo Johnson, the actress who plays Pink Ranger, to me, versus what 3-0 gave us. Then again, if that's the scale they want to set for their female figures and they don't care about the actual actors' heights, so that all of the female Rangers scale properly next to the male ones, they don't look too short, then I understand their decision in doing that. But I prefer height accuracy, so now I'm thinking maybe I need to do a body swap on the 3-0 Pink Ranger. Whereas actually for Yellow Ranger, I like the height difference, because now it's a point of difference between the two of them. On the left we've got Aisha, on the right, Trini. And who's to say when she's morphed in her outfit, Trini isn't ever so slightly taller than Aisha is? No freaking way. No way. These were made by a third-party company. They're not perfect, like they've got issues. Each individual Ranger can't pose for shit, and most of them don't come with their Ranger-specific accessories, except for Tommy and Billy. Do I care about any of that? No. I don't even mind the color of Yellow's armor now that I'm seeing the team fully assembled. As a set, they are greater than the sum of their parts. If you are a movie Power Rangers fan like I am, you need to get these. I highly doubt that any other 1/6 scale third-party manufacturer, or even any licensed ones, will be able to tackle this, because the outfits are so complicated, and they need to make unique molds for all of the chest pieces, the morphers, different bodies for each Ranger, unique accessories, not that everyone comes with them, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's unlikely that we're ever going to see this again. Don't miss this chance. Going over Articulation, they've got the same body underneath the same construction and materials for the outfit. Does that mean we're not going to go over both of them? Nah, we'll still do both. Starting off with Kim's helmet, there's a rubbery neck underneath it, there's a double ball peg inside of that rubbery neck. Looking forward to there, looking up to there, which is honestly way more than I was expecting. Swivel, and tons of pivot side to side. Watch out for the shoulder pads. I would suggest moving the chest armor up and creating a gap so that the shoulder pads can slide into it. The arms will go up to there, forward and back. There's a butterfly joint at the shoulder that hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, ratcheted double bend at the elbow going just past 90. Then for the wrist peg, it's a hinge and swivel. Her torso crunches forward to there, restricted by the rubbery outfit, going back to there, swivel, and pivot side to side. Her legs will go forward to there, but they spring back down, unfortunately, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, double bend at the knee, going past 90. Then a split cut boot design and a double ball peg for the ankles. Good for forward and back rotation, as well as ankle tilt, but these side flaps do get in the way. Aisha's turn. She's going to be the exact same as Pink Ranger, starting off with her helmet, rubbery neck, double ball peg, looking forward, looking up, still way more than I was expecting, swivel, and pivot side to side. Moving her chest armor up, the arms will go up to there, forward and back, there's a butterfly joint that hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, double bend on ratchets at the elbow, but Aisha's is more restricted for some reason. Then for her wrist peg, it's a hinge and swivel. Torso, crunching forward, more than Kim. Very strange. Maybe they have made some subtle changes to the bodies. Swivel and pivot side to side. Her legs go forward to there, still springing back down. Going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh. Double bend at the knee, going way further than Pink Ranger. Double ball peg for the ankles, split cut boot design, forward and back, rotation, as well as ankle tilt. If you find that looks a touch gappy, just slide down the boot guard and you should be able to close it up. Wrapping up on the final two Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie figures that we've been waiting for from Toys Battalion. Pink Pterosaur and Yellow Sabretooth, Pink Ranger and Yellow Ranger. They're fantastic. They've got all of the same drawbacks as the boys. If you had issues with them, you're going to have issues with these. If you don't care about the problems and you can admire the outfits, the figures for what they are, then you are in for a treat, my friend. Seeing all of the Rangers standing together. I've not been this excited in a while to finish this video, pop them in the cabinet, stand back and admire the full collection of Rangers. It's something that I never thought was going to happen. There's weird licensing issues, the outfits are very complicated, but Toys Battalion did it. And they didn't just do 1 or 2 Rangers, they gave us the entire set. But Toys Battalion, if you're listening to this, you're making these in an unlicensed capacity anyway, yeah? Why not give us your own take on a concept version Green Ranger in an armored movie style outfit? I would be here for it, and I know that more than a few Power Rangers collectors would want to pick that figure up as well. Just think about it. So, at the end of this, summing up on the line, well worth getting. These figures are now some of my favourites in the collection, and that's saying something because they're not the best, they're not the most incredible figures I've ever seen, but as a whole, that's what they become. This line is going front and centre in my Power Rangers display. Enough gushing, I got my pink and yellow Rangers from KG Hobby at a discount. I've popped a link to their site in the description, for your reference purposes only. This is by no means a promotional video. This is a review. All opinions have been 100% my own. If you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.